It's got one button, and that's it. Yeah, so we run the sub with this game controller. It's made by Logitech, but it's basically a Sony PlayStation style controller. If you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you press back. If you want to turn to the left, it's like that. You want to turn to the right, you turn to the right.
All right, guys, submarine update. I found something crazy. Back in July of 2022, a woman named Chelsea Kellogg went on one of these submarine expeditions to the Titanic. She posted about her experience on Facebook and shared that it was absolutely amazing. It was also through Ocean Gate Expeditions, the same people who sent down the sub that's currently missing. I will show you guys some of the videos she took while on board this submersible in a moment. In her videos, you'll be able to see that this expedition does not just go look around, circle the Titanic. They're exploring the Titanic, and it would be so easy for it to get snagged up or caught up in the wreckage. Before I show you the videos of what Kelly was able to see on this excursion, I want to show you a photo of Kelly inside of this submersible. Look how itty bitty it is. Everyone's sitting crisscross applesauce. Like, this thing is tiny.
King of the world, baby.
I think these are memoriam plaques from other expeditions.
We will try to follow the...
That is the shot.
This is a crow nest. Crow nest to the left.
Yeah. Now.
Whoa, holy shit. You did it. Congrats, man. Way to go.
I am incredibly relieved that Chelsea made it out of this experience alive. But honestly, do you guys think that this experience, this porthole, all the way 2 miles underwater, risking your life, $250,000 per ticket, is it really worth it? Because I feel like I've had the full experience just from looking at the pictures and videos I see online.
Everybody's worried about where the submarine went, when they should be worried about who was on it. Don't look where they want you to. Look where they don't. The truth is in the background.
I know we're all supposed to feel sad for a bunch of millionaires on a submarine right now, but the last time the Titanic took somebody, it killed all the poor people, so maybe it's just evening the score a bit.
I don't care, okay? I don't care. I just gotta go down and get the door names. Drake? What? Where's the door hole?
Goes right there. See, I drew it with a magic marker.
You were supposed to cut it out with the power saw.
Dude, I'm gonna.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So go get the power saw.
Okay, I will. I see the problem.
Oh, do ya?
Oh my God, bro. Did you hear about the rich people trapped at the bottom of the ocean? Man, I don't give a fuck about that shit. My rent due in 4 days and I'm missing half. Get the fuck out my face, Tyler.
There is something so eerie about this submarine going missing. Like, for starters, why were these people charged $250,000 a ticket? Why are there fraud charges against Ocean Gate that no one even has been talking about? Why did the man who tried to tell them almost 3 years ago that this submarine was not safe get fired and they still went on this exploration? The Titan submersible submarine went missing 1 hour and 45 minutes into its 8-day exploration. There are 5 people aboard. 3 are believed to be billionaires and millionaires, and then there's the co-pilot and a content creator. Apparently, the machine or submarine was supposed to free fall to the bottom of the North Finland Ocean and actually view the wreckage of the Titanic. Now, if you know anything about the wreckage of the Titanic, then you know it's 12,500 feet at the bottom of this ocean. Also, the wreckage is not in one spot. It's actually broken up and it is 220,000 meters apart, which means these people can be here, here, or here. I just think it's insane because at this point, we only have explored 3% of the ocean. So what in someone's right mind says, hey, let's take a 22-foot long submarine with one glass hole where we can see out of, window, and we can't even open it from the outside, right? Because even if they have gone somewhere in the middle of the Finland Ocean and they have popped up, they cannot get out. This submarine only opens from the outside. And then Ocean Gate is already sketchy as fuck. They have things going all the way back to 2017 where they have actually been charged with fraud and discrimination charges against a man who worked for them and tried to tell them that this machine was not safe. They fired him. I can only think, how can they not find this submarine? I mean, these people are billionaires. Use their money. Use their family's money. Where's the Navy? Why is it that the Coast Guard and local agencies are the only people looking? I don't know. It's recently been updated that today is Tuesday, right? They only had 96 hours of air. They have heard on a sonar Doppler that someone is doing or something, they've heard tapping every 30 minutes in intervals. If you ask me, I think it's Morse code. There is a captain amongst this ship, and I'm sure he's been trained for this. So my thing is, if you hear all this, no one's even been down there. They haven't sent a single rescue ship down there. These people have no food, no water, they're running out of air. They have nowhere for their waste to go. I'm sure they're sick by now from the pressure. There's vomit, feces, amongst everything, and fear. What is going on?
Breaking news! 12 hours of oxygen remain for the Titanic submarine that has been lost deep in the ocean for multiple days now. If you haven't heard, at least 5 passengers, including a billionaire, have gone missing in a submarine touring the Titanic wreck, and the floors left of breathable oxygen are dwindling.
Worst situation is, something happened to the hull, and our fear is that, it imploded at around 3,200 meters.
And is there anything that the U.S. Navy can do right now?
No. I mean, I don't see anything that can happen at this point. I mean, I'm trying to be, somewhat cautious and, don't want to basically be the naysayer of what's going on. But when you're talking 6,000 pounds per square inch, it is a dangerous environment. More people have been to outer space than to this depth of the ocean.
According to reports, each passenger paid nearly $250,000 for a seat on the submarine. Hopefully they get rescued in time.
Them dead. So couldn't move on. The whole on go dead off with me. We are 6 feet and the whole on come with me.
Where are you? I'm over here.
Everyone's saying worst case scenario, that submarine imploded. That is probably best case scenario. Obviously, best case scenario would be finding them floating somewhere on top and they're fine. That's not gonna happen. Best case scenario is that it imploded and killed them all instantly. That it went from a tube to a rod instantly and they all died immediately. If not, they're on the bottom of the ocean, caught in something with no power, No, nothing. Okay? Nothing. In there with their own like urine and feces and whatever, probably hyperventilating, slowly suffocating to death in some of the coldest waters on the planet. I would rather immediately implode and die instantly than fucking that. The worst case scenario is not imploding. It's not. It's probably the best.
Run the sub with this game controller. It's made by Logitech.
Now, I am not trying to be funny, okay? And I know some of you bitches gonna laugh, because every time I open my mouth, you bitches are in my comments laughing. I know you're not gonna laugh. But I just want to be clear, I'm not trying to be funny. But you niggas mean to tell me that you lot done fucked around and took Buzz Lightyear's taxi to infinity and beyond, 12,000 feet below the sea, to be doing up Nintendo Switch, nigga? Is that what you people are telling me? No, but be fucking for real. You niggas mean to tell me that you decided to yabba dabba do your ass 12,000 feet below sea level in an aquatic coffin that is controlled by a game console, nigga? Nah, because man them really went and paid 250,000 rich people dollars to go and be doing Pacific Rim. Like, look at the red flags. Number 1, PlayStation controller. Number 2, experimental sub. And number 3, the shit is bolted from the outside. This thing has no GPS, no camera, no phones, not even a 19-pound air tag in this motherfucker. Like, bitch, even look at the man that was there trying to tell them about the features. He don't even look convinced, bruv. And how could you trust a nigga like that anyways? Like, bitch, look at this nigga's sock. Look at his sock. You can't trust no nigga with no socks like that. That nigga look like he got 3 toes. You can't trust no 3-toe having ass nigga in no ugly sack, bitch. Bitch, you need to understand that the world is 4.54 billion years old. And in that space of time, mankind was only able to discover and understand only 5% of the ocean. We had people who went and spent 250,000 rich people money, rich people currency, only to go in the unknown, to be crackalating with the crack on. For all that cash they pay, I bet you any money that console is run on batteries, bruv. And they didn't even give them backup. They just sent them down there with the half-charged batteries, bruv. What kills me the most is the fact that Mandem is really out here trying to go and see the Titanic. Titanic that sunk in 1912. The government of the country in which Titanic left did not even care enough to drag it out the sea. And you are carrying yourself down there to go and see. Go and see what? And call me what you want, but you cannot convince me, bitch, that Titanic is not an aquatic graveyard, bruv. Do you know how many people died on that ship? Do you know how many people died on that ship? And you know the funny thing is, we got told that Titanic hit an iceberg. For all we know, that motherfucker probably didn't even hit no fucking iceberg, bruv. We don't know. We probably don't even fully know why the fuck that ship sank. And we had people carrying their bags down there, but you want to go and be seeing sunken ship. If you don't believe me, look at how the government is reacting. Do you see the government sending one Navy SEAL, bruv, down there to look for them? That nigga wouldn't even send a tuna, fam. Now, I'm not gonna be a bitch. I hope they get back safely, because you never know, bruv. But at this point, bruv, by the end of the day, bruv, you lot can't convince me that them niggas ain't down at the bottom of the sea getting held hostage by Tamatoa singing Shiny, bruv. Good night.
Oh my gosh. Someone said don't run out of air.
See? You can run
Someone
out of air.
said lay flat on the floor
See?
if it starts falling. Oh!
Practicing my surprised face for when they break the news that one billionaire did the math. 24 hours by 5 people equals 120 by 1 person and has been recovered.
The passengers on the Titanic sub are gone, and I don't say that very lightly, but I was an anti-submarine officer. Let me explain some stuff. Around 1 o'clock today, articles said they had about 40 hours of breathable air, so they're down to about 37 now. But even if they find this submarine, which is going to be very difficult to pick up on sonar because of rocks and other objects in the water, they won't be able to actually lift this submarine out of the water or open any of the doors or hatches. When an object is, say, in the middle of the ocean, you have buoyant forces that can push up. But this submarine is at the very bottom, likely on the seabed, at 13,000 feet, which means that 100% of the buoyant forces is in the downward direction. It would literally take an act of God for that submarine to come back up. When I was in the Navy, we had what's known as the WQC-2 Gertrude. It's an underwater microphone you can basically listen. And while I was doing a tour in the Middle East, specifically in the Persian Gulf, there was an Iranian sub that went down to the bottom. And it was one of the saddest things because you wanted to help them, but we were not allowed to. And we could physically hear on the Gertrude the sailors banging on pipes asking for help. There was nothing that we could do. At the beginning, there was lots of bangs. Bang, 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 bang. And as time progressed, the bangs got slower. Bang, bang. Pretty depressing, to be honest. So I don't really like saying it, but condolences to these individuals and their families. Like I said, it'll take literally an act of God to pull something like that 13,000 feet from under the water. And divers can't really help there. They could cut it open, but the second you do that, you'll have water pouring in it super fast. It would crush them on the inside.
That's a good one.
Oh, jeez.
Enjoying yourselves?
We were.
Are you laughing at the violent death of a young man?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sense of scale. This dot right here is the size of an average human, this slightly larger dot is the size of an elephant, and this is the size of the largest ship ever built, the Knock Nevis. With that in mind, let's start going underwater and see what we find out. The first milestone is at 40 meters below the surface, which is the maximum depth allowed for recreational scuba diving. A little further down at 93 meters is where the wreck of the Lusitania was discovered, which is interesting because the Lusitania itself is 240 meters long, which means that it sank in water shallower than it is long, so if the ship was standing on its stern or bow, it would be sticking out of the water. Just slightly deeper than that, at 100 meters, is where diving can become seriously fatal if you're not careful because of decompression sickness. But that didn't stop a man named Herbert Nitsch to accomplish the free diving world record at a depth of 214 meters. This guy swam down to this level with just one single breath. But a little further down at 332 meters, we have the scuba diving world record, which was accomplished by another man named Ahmed Gabir. If he had swam down another 111 meters, then he would have reached the height of the Empire State Building if it was submerged underwater. And a little further than that, at 500 meters below the surface, we arrive at the maximum dive depth of blue whales, the largest creatures on the planet and also the limit of the US Seawolf class nuclear submarine. At 535 meters, we can witness the maximum dive depth of emperor penguins, and this is when we must bring up the intensity of water pressure. At this level below the surface, the water pressure exerted on a person or the penguins would be roughly equivalent to a polar bear standing on a quarter. So further down the depths, at 830 meters, would be the height of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest building in the world. Once we hit 1,000 meters below the surface, we begin to enter the scary zone.
Black people get their ass beat by police today, but the whole world gotta stop for one little whitey down the hole.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
Excuse me, bitch? I'm sitting
worried to fucking death about the people in that submarine. Only to get on Instagram and see this fucking video. It doesn't make me worry any less, but only makes me worried about why the fuck I'm worried in the first place.
Environmental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body.
What?
And could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death.
What?
Where do I sign? Oh, take your shoes off. That's customary. Okay. Wow. Inside, the sub has about as much room as a minivan.
So this is not your grandfather's submersible. We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator. You know, it shouldn't take a lot of skill.
What?
The Titan is the only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea.
What?
It's also the only one with a toilet. Sort of. And yet, I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
What?
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. What? We run the whole thing with this game controller.
What?
Come on! It's...
X circle, X double left square, right trigger down, square. Oh, double square. Respect. Oh, yeah.
5 billionaires trapped in a submarine. What are they gonna do? Sorry, my bad. It's just like, what about these refugees on this boat? Why aren't we concerned about that? Instead, it's 5 men who voluntarily bolted themselves inside a subaquatic butt plug. Voluntarily, mind you. And now all the news outlets. Submarine! Where is the butt plug? Also, like, this shit that they went to go see. Can't you find that shit on Google? Deadass, here! You've seen it without spending millions of dollars. But no, it's the experience of being in the butt plug. Rich bros wanna flex. And now the news outlets are filled up. Wild shit, dude. Wild.